Hey, what's up and welcome back everyone to another Warzone video. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost there. It is less than 1 week away until Warzone Pacific or Caldera drops, and it has been a pretty painful wait. But today we are discussing 10 official changes, both from the news drop yesterday as well as some little, teasers given out by Raven Software and some of the developers over on Twitter. 10 concrete things that are coming to Warzone, and I'm very excited about pretty much all of these. Now, so you guys know, we are going to be doing insane amount of uploads. We're talking probably double, if not triple uploads nonstop whenever Warzone Pacific drops. So if you guys want to get the most out of it, make sure to subscribe here and turn your notifications on, because I'm taking leave from work and I will be grinding out Warzone Pacific content. And if you want to do me a massive favor, help get this video into the algorithm by liking it. It helps more than you know. But without further ado, without any further delay, let's get into it. The 10 things that are coming. First and foremost, we've got the new map. This is one thing I am super excited about. You guys have likely seen this graphic before. If you haven't, take a pause, take a look. There are a whole bunch of new POIs throughout the entire map, but what I want to point out is actually look at how dense it is on the outside of the map. Previously in Verdansk, everything was condensed to the middle of the map. So if we had a zone pulling out to the edge, it was nothing but trees and woods and hills, and it was pretty easy to hold a power position, and that was GG's, right? Well, not anymore. Throughout the entire map, all throughout the lines, or border rather, if it were to pull to the edge of a map, we're going to have a pretty fun end zone leading to a major POI at the edge of the map. I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I think it's majorly overlooked, but it's going to be like in games, if they do pull wide, are going to be so much more fun than a prison ending or a hill ending. It's actually going to be a good time. On top of that, across the entire map, now I'll have linked in the description the Call of Duty update blog post. There's actually a lot of places throughout the map, but I'm not seeing any skyscrapers, no downtown area. There's some like 3- and 4-story buildings, but we're not talking anything where we have to rappel all the way up to the top. Massive stories like we've been dealing with in downtown. And on top of it, they do have an air traffic control tower, but it looks like it has been nerfed, we'll say. It doesn't seem like there's only the one rappel on the way up. You've got the ascender over here that you can get up, and you can also work your way up via stairs. So it's not a complete death trap, first come, first serve for the guys who camp up there. This leads us into the second change that is coming to Warzone Pacific, and it'll be on the new Vanguard Engine. Now, keep in mind, the Vanguard Engine is like a derivative of the Modern Warfare 2019 engine, so mostly everything's going to feel the same, but it's been a little bit more optimized, so you should expect a little bit better graphical performance, but also expect the same movement that we have here in Vanguard multiplayer. So if you have issues with slide canceling, it feels clunky, make sure to check out my Vanguard video, because I have an advanced graphics setting video on there where we also go through all the best controller settings to help you get clean slide cancels. One nice thing about it is the tactical sprint resets a lot more smoothly than Modern Warfare 2019, so you're not just going to have to spam slide cancels nonstop. It should be a little bit more natural, a little bit more organic to get that tactical sprint back. But on top of just the movement, we should possibly expect to see a lot of destructible environments in Warzone. It's taken a place in Vanguard multiplayer. It is like a staple of it there. And I'm wondering, this is not confirmed, but it is a possibility that we're going to have destructible environments all throughout Verdansk, which will mean hopefully we can blow out the sides of buildings where people are camping. But hopefully the anti-cheat works, because if the anti-cheat doesn't work, that means every wall is going to be wall bangable, and that potentially could be really rough for us. So fingers crossed. We're going to talk more about that later. The third change that is coming to Warzone Pacific is actually a massive change to the Gulag. Now, if you played Iron Trials, you're going to be really familiar with this, but actually when you use the weapons that you use in the Gulag are going to be the same weapons that you can come back with. So very similar to Iron Trials, you're going to be able to bring the ammo that you save and also the utility. So let's say you throw a frag, but you keep a stun, you'll be able to keep that with you as you regain. You're not just regaining back from the Gulag with nothing. So they specifically said, any player who wins a Gulag will drop back in with the weapon or weapons and lethal equipment given to them during the deadly duel. However, you want to be more efficient because you will come back with everything that you have remaining, equipment and ammunition. So that's an exciting change to the Gulag. It should make regains a little bit easier. That way, when you're dropping back in, if someone were to instantly send you, let's say you're dropping into a building, you can fight back with whatever you had, not just the 1911. The fourth change that we have coming to Warzone Pacific is field upgrades. Now, this is something I am extremely excited about. First and foremost, stopping power is gone. No more orange boxes. No more ripping straight through your plates to your health. Stopping power, period, dot, is gone. It's not coming back. Dead silence, however, I really wish they could have said the same thing. Put that little green pamphlet through the shredder. It is not gone, but it will be nerfed. They have not said explicitly how they're going to nerf it, but I think there's a couple ways they could do this. One, they could shorten the duration. Two, they could not, re-up the duration every time you get a kill. But three, and what I think would be the most practical, is allowing dead silence to make you silent while walking. You're already silent while crouching, but if you're tactical sprinting, sliding, jumping, there's no reason it should be completely silent, maybe just reducing your volume for sprinting. That way someone just can't, completely gain on you, full tactical sprint, slide all over the place, right? I think there needs to be a balance there. Another change, though, not necessarily related to field upgrades, but the loadout markers themselves. I've seen a little bit of controversy about this. So loadout markers now will only drop after the first global drop. So on the bad side, you could feel like, hey, this really sucks. I want to use my specific loadout. I saw these knives only complaining because he only rocks knives. So it makes his life really difficult. So he has to wait until the first zone. But on the other hand, outside of niche gameplays, I think it's going to be a lot more beneficial for the average player. So if a really sweaty team gets their loadout, now all of a sudden they're running at you with possibly ghost or stuns or really overpowered weapons that have zero recoil. Now you actually get a chance to fight back. As a more experienced player, I'm going to like it a lot more because that's going to allow me to, take advantage of the fact that I have better recoil control. The fact that I have a little bit better shot than most people, as opposed to someone who can pick out their fully crafted, perfectly zero recoil, max damage loadout, which is going to be a pain in the butt to fight against early game. It should make you feel a little bit more like a natural BR in the early game using those ground loot weapons. Just hopefully the ground loot weapons aren't complete cheeks. So moving forward from that on to number 5, it is equipment changes. So not only do we have changes to the field upgrades, we also have changes to the equipment. More specifically, the stun is getting nerfed. We don't know how exactly, but the stun is getting nerfed. There's so many ways they can nerf it. First off, it affects your vision. It like hazes out your vision. You can't turn. You can't move. You can't sprint. It also affects your hearing, and it lasts forever. So all of those things they could change, whether it's the movement, the turning, the hearing, or the duration. But there's also a nerf to the #1 most pick equipment in the game, and that is the heartbeat sensor. Once again, it hasn't been specified, but we can expect to see, hopefully, maybe like a battery to where you can only do a certain amount of waves. I've been saying this since like season 1 of Warzone. So hopefully we get some sort of massive nerf to the heartbeat sensor so they can't hold out the baby monitor all game. One thing I'm not excited about, though, is they say lethal equipment will deal more damage. I think lethal equipment takes away from a lot of the fun of the game because I don't mind dying to a gunfight, but if I'm getting Simtech spammed, or especially in this game, Gammon Bomb, because keep in mind Vanguard has the Gammon Bomb, which you can throw and it'll instantaneously explode. Imagine teams with restock Gammon Bombs and a full team just spams them in, like you're gonna die. So that worries me, the fact that most lethal equipment will deal more damage. That is quote from Raven. Additional changes to weapon or equipment. We're going to see the snapshot grenade will have an increased radius. So the snapshot grenade will have an increased radius. Stims will also give a slight movement boost. In the past, they've given you a quicker regen for your tactical sprint. But on top of that, they're going to give you a movement boost. And then the decoy grenade just sounds like a troll. They will pack rubber bullets that will deal just enough damage to pester enemies, which possibly not only will cause the the indicator to go off on your radar showing that there's someone there, but it also could hit you and show like, oh, you have a damage indicator coming from that ground, which could cause the decoy grenade to possibly be a little bit more useful. Moving on, number 6 is one of my favorite changes coming to Warzone Pacific, and it is the melee nerf. On multiple fronts, the melee is getting nerfed. You are, first off, getting a nerf to dual-wielded weapons, so the Cali sticks, the size, the blades, all that stuff is getting nerfed, but more importantly, gun butting will no longer be a primary method of attack. That's what they mentioned. Hopefully this goes the direction of Apex, goes the direction of Fortnite, where we're doing maybe 20 damage per hit, maybe 30 damage. Nothing ridiculous like right now, which could be a 2-hit or even a 3-hit melee doing like 75 damage or more per melee is just absolutely absurd. It should be like 5 to 8 to actually kill someone. Let's use our gun skill here, especially since we're coming back from the gulag with actual weapons. So massive, massive nerf coming to melees. Moving forward, number 7, there is a change to the gas mask animation. Really excited about this one. The gas mask animation is one of the things I hate the most in the game. It says the gas mask won't interrupt as many actions as they did previously, making it easier to pull off your mask off or on, as well as plating or reloading while getting out of the circle collapse, but it still is favoring the combat advantage to those who are safely inside the circle. So I really don't know what this means. It says it won't mess with your plating up or your reloading, but the thing that bothers me the most about the gas mask animation is aiming down sight. Like if I'm in the middle of aiming down sight and then the gas just barely tickles my back, and all of a sudden I lose my ability to aim down sight. And it sounds like that's the direction they're keeping it. It's just not going to interrupt your animations like reloading and plating. I really don't know how to feel about that. I would rather them just have the thing pop in front of your face. It obscures your vision maybe a little bit, but it allows me to play the game. Or I can toggle whether I put it on or off. I don't like this. I don't get to choose whether or not it comes on while I'm in the middle of a gunfight, and it's going to cost my aim down sight. Hopefully that's not the case. Now, number 8 is a pretty massive change across the board, and as a little bit of a sweatier player, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So there are some things that are going to be cool. It says during a match, squads can find new contracts, such as the supply drop contract, which airlifts a valuable crate onto the map for anyone to pick up, but it's only available. Its exact location is only available to the contracted squad. So anyone can go after it, but the exact location is limited to the contracted squad. That is a supply crate. But there's another contract you can pick up, and it's called the Big Game Bounty, which targets the operator with the highest kill count, but it's only once per game. So I'm imagining this contract is there's only one on the entire map, and if you kill him, it'll be a huge reward. But I feel so sorry for anyone who's like about to break their kill record. Now all of a sudden they have a full team of sweaty 4 focusing on the fact like, okay, this guy's going to be a good player. We got to play it perfectly. Not super looking forward to that. There is something else called the top secret contract, but it's redacted and we don't really know what it means quite yet. But it says it'll be better than the standard loot. There's also something happening with public events. We had seen this a lot in the most recent Operation Flashback. There are going to be things happening such as resurgences, which will allow you to redeploy as long as your teammates are alive, and then also restocks, which will restock all of the loot boxes from across the map. We should expect to see pretty much the previous version of Operation Flashback, some of those events happening inside of Warzone. Now, number 9 is something we have all been waiting for, and I am super, super excited for. It's Ricochet. It is a kernel level cheat happening, anti-cheat happening to the PC, which hopefully will prevent a lot of the hacking issues. Now, we've seen cheaters in Valorant. We've seen cheaters in CSGO. We've seen cheaters in a lot of games that have a kernel level anti-cheat. However, it is a much more complicated process to get around those cheats from my understanding, and it's also detected a heck of a lot quicker. So I think this will curb a lot of the call them Sunday morning cheaters, guys who are just rage cheating, guys who are sick with the status of Warzone. And hopefully this goes back to like season 1, season 2 of Warzone, where a cheater is so incredibly rare, but it is blatant. Guys like, no scoping people, seat swapping out of helicopters, and it happens maybe once a week or something, and we can really just enjoy our game again and lose that paranoia. On top of that, I really hope they fix the kill cams. I think that would be something really, really cool that they could add. And actually, let's get into this right now. So before we get on to number 10, which is a change that's happening to the game, let's talk about some things that I haven't seen addressed that I want to see. First off, they need to fix the kill cam bug. The kill cam is so jittery and it makes it really deceptive to see what actually happened to you in your death. On top of that, what they can add is a summary similar to so many other games have it, man. Similar to Vanguard or Valorant, which will show like you took 3 bullets to the chest by this gun and 1 bullet to the head by this gun, and that's how you died. Or Counter-Strike breaks it down. You took X amount of damage from this player, X amount of damage from this player, dealing a total amount of damage here. I think that would add a lot of peace of mind to someone if they say, oh, I died in, okay, 4 body shots and 3 headshots. Okay, he just happened to hit his shots. That's how I died so quickly. Or, oh, shoot, I got team shot by 3 different players. That'll help to kind of ease your mind a little bit. Another change that we haven't had addressed, FOV on a console. We know it comes for multiplayer, but we haven't heard anything concrete that it's coming for Warzone Pacific, which is really scary. One-shot snipers. I'm sick of it, man. The Swiss, like, marksman rifles should not be headshots. The Swiss aims down sight too fast. It has no flinch whenever you get shot, or barely any flinch on top of that. I'm really sick of snipers ruining games. Right now, the #1 most picked gun in terms of meta is the Swiss. For like the first time ever, a sniper is one of the most picked guns in Warzone. That and the Kar 98. It's too easy to use snipers. I love snipers. It's a staple of my gameplay. But they aim down sight too quick. It's a one-shot headshot. Their fire rate's too fast. Their weapon sway is too minimal. It's too dang easy to use snipers in this game. Give us something to counter it. Either make it only to where like heavy, slow aim down sight snipers like the Vanguard Kar 98 will one-shot headshot, or give us something like helmets or something to make it to where our games don't just end like that. I want to see a ranked mode. I'm really, I'm not expecting it season 1, but I would like to see it in future seasons. I think it'll revitalize Vanguard and Warzone so much to have a ranked mode. Streamer mode. This is a little bit biased, a little bit selfish, but I don't see a lot of people trying to queue up and like stream snipe me while they're playing with me. But if I kill someone, they're like, oh my God, is that Icemanisaac? And then they'll come into my stream, see where I am, and then try to kill me. I think a streamer mode could solve a lot of that. Weather. I think dynamic weather would be badass. Whether it's during the night, during the day, super windy, possible rain, snow. I think that would all add a really cool dynamic to the game. Battlefield pulls it off really well, and I really enjoy it. And then finally, gunsmith. One thing I would love to see changed in the gunsmith is you can't change things like turning on and off tracer effects and turning on and off things like death effects. There are so many badass skins that I would buy that I don't buy because of the fact that they don't have the ability to turn off those tracers and death effects. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, the number 10 change coming to Warzone Pacific is actually the fact that when the game launches, we are going to have a special Vanguard Royale game mode. Now, I'm going to read the description specifically here. It says, new vehicles in dogfighting. Fly fighter planes that rain down fire on foes, or head for the anti-aircraft guns or trucks to shoot them out of the skies. There are also other ground-based vehicles, including squad transport, all-terrain car, that will help the squad cut through and around the island. A focus on Vanguard weapons loadouts can only contain Vanguard weaponry, streamlining the meta for more accessibility and room for experimentation. Expect all weapons around the island to be from Vanguard. Operator selection is also limited to Vanguard soldiers. So everything, period, is from Vanguard. Circle collapse changes, in-game events, and more. The radii, the times of circle collapse, are also altered to offer a different pace of play, especially with the dogfighting overhead. Also expect in-game events such as circle collapse, bombing runs, and different items within the Caldera's overworld and contract rewards. So we already know you can get early access to the game on December 8th if you have Vanguard. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until December 9th. But on top of that, there are going to be Vanguard-specific game modes that only allow you to use Vanguard guns. They're really trying to get you to buy their $60 game. It's actually not that bad for a multiplayer game. So maybe get in there. I'm not a COD creator, COD partner or anything. Maybe consider buying the game to upgrade some of those weapons before Vanguard drops. But, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the 10 changes, plus some changes I want to see coming to Warzone Pacific. Please do me a favor, if you've made it this far in the video, drop a like, comment down below what sort of content you want me to cover when Vanguard drops. I am making a master list, and like I said, I am dropping 2-3 videos a day whenever Vanguard drops. So do me a favor, subscribe to this video, turn notifications on, and please, please, please drop a like on it, because it helps out so much with the algorithm. But without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and live over on Twitch. Peace.